Hey everyone, and welcome back to the Weekly Awakening podcast. This is your host, Cosmic Colleen, back with another astrology update. Look, I know I dropped the ball this week. I know I've been very good and consistently posting on Mondays, maybe Tuesday morning the latest. However, I got so sick and the universe just dropped me on my ass on my birthday week. So you guys are getting it today, May 24th, which is my 35th birthday. Yay! And again, I just want to apologize to everyone who looks forward to these at the beginning of the week. I'm sorry I was so crazy ill. And I'm going to talk about that and the astrology of how this showed up in my chart and being ill. I want to remind everyone the best way to support this podcast is to rate, review, subscribe, send it to a friend. You guys, I've been getting more and more weekly listeners, and it's all because of that. I don't have Patreon. I don't have any of that stuff. It's just by you guys telling people about my episodes, sending it, and sharing about it on social media, all of those wonderful things. I greatly, greatly appreciate that. And it's because of you that this podcast is really getting out there. And I appreciate that. So yeah, let's talk about the universe and when it makes you want to surrender. And how this looked in my astrology chart. So if you know me, I don't get sick. And it's been years since I have to take off work. Years. And even then I get like sick one day and then it's over with, or I just get out of the mindset. And this really took me out. And sorry if this episode feels a little bit off or wonky. I'm still kind of out of it. But today on my birthday, I woke up feeling the best I felt in 4 days. So I'm really, really grateful for that. We're going to talk. There's not too many transits happening. I dropped the beginning of the week, dropped the ball on those transits. But we got Friday, Mars and Leo squaring the North Node in Taurus. And then on Sunday, Sun squared Saturn. I'm going to talk a little bit about Jupiter in Taurus, more about that, and a little bit about Mars and Leo. But again, I'm really going to talk about, this is going to be quick, but how this astrology update showed up in my life and when we need to surrender. So Saturday night, I was with friends and I did new moon circle. We had that beautiful new moon in Taurus with Jupiter entering Taurus. It was incredible. It was beautiful to share this light and love and new moon astrology energy with some like-minded friends. And I started to kind of feel a little bit ill then. And now that I know I'm sick, I know who I got it from. And it's a Pisces rising, this person. And it was not from that night. It was from earlier in that day because they started coughing near me. And I know, and I'll explain because the Pisces plays a part into my transit, but it was a Pisces rising. And then I woke up Sunday morning and I could not move. I was like, holy shit. Again, normally I'll fight through it. I'll take some medicine. I'll still go out through the day. I'm not trying to brag, but I'm a tough cookie. If you know me, you know I'm a tough cookie. Mama damn braised no bitch. I'm a country girl, so I'll fight through things. And I could not move. First of all, shout out to my baby daddy and the grandparents. I'm so grateful. They have taken care of my kids. This is always the time that I have them. So I've been able to recuperate and do nothing. But when I say I got in to my bed and I did not move other than going to the bathroom, I did not move from my bed for 3 days. And it was crazy. It was like the exhaustion, like my nose filled up, but really my body was so achy and I had zero energy and I just could not move from my bed. I didn't watch TV. Occasionally I scrolled my phone, but I just laid there and I thought, contemplated life, contemplated making it to these 35 years, and also contemplating gratitude for being health. It's something about when I get sick, am I really amped up and how grateful I am about being healthy and learning to surrender. So I have a natal sun 3 degrees in Gemini. So it's just as an entered Gemini, 3 degrees, my natal sun is. And it's also squaring at 1 degree Mars and Pisces in the 7th house. So every year, the sun will square Mars and Pisces in the 7th house, which is kind of a big house for it to be squaring, which was interesting because I didn't realize. I got to thinking I've actually have some drama around my birthday throughout the years at different times, like leading up to my birthday, about where as soon as the sun enters Gemini, it squares my natal Mars. And so I'm like, wow, I really have had some drama. And now, depending on what kind of drama, at what level, depends on what planet is co-present in Pisces at the time. Now, the last 2 years, I've had Jupiter. So I've had Jupiter in its home sign of Pisces. So I've had luck on my side. I've had some pretty good the last 2 years. However, this time I got Saturn in Pisces, right? It hasn't been there in 30 years. So I have Saturn in Pisces. So Saturn brings the stop, the slowdown, the pause, the illness, and Mars also activates that illness too. So now we got Saturn at 4 degrees, co-present when the sun was squaring Mars, and then is squaring Saturn in my house. And again, the sun and Mars, but also my transit sun. So this really showed how that showed up. It slowed my life. Everything stopped. And it's funny how life, we think that we make these plans and we can go deeper. We can talk about other things. Luckily, it's just sickness. And we think tomorrow, we make these permanent plans in a life that is not permanent. Nothing is permanent outside of this moment. Everything is subject to change. And we go around our life. And most often, life shows up the way we plan it to be or the way we want it to be. But then something can come out of the blue like this. If I would have really studied my astrology chart beforehand, I might have had a better idea, but go out of the blue and I had all these plans for this week, for my birthday week. And then I got this sickness and it just shut me down. It just shut me the F down. So there's Saturn, right? Slow down and put a stop to my life path. Mars bringing out the sickness, Saturn adding to the serious slowdown and stopping. So, I was sitting there in life and as I was stuck in my room, life went quite fast. It was crazy. It was morning, then it was afternoon, then it was night, then I was ready for bed again. And I napped all throughout the day and so forth and so on. But then I thought about the things that I missed. And it's important a reminder when I get healthy not to miss those important things. I missed my son's last running race, which he'll probably never run again because he hated it, but I'm proud of him for finishing it. I've missed his first basketball game. I missed his sweat lodge. I had to cancel my tattoo appointment. Today, I took the whole day off of work to get my tattoo done for my birthday, 7 hours, and I canceled that. I canceled any birthday plans I had this week. I canceled clients. I canceled all sort of things. So there, I thought, I'm not going to get sick because I got my whole birthday week planned out. I have lots of great things to do, but the universe had other plans and I had to surrender it. And one of the things that helped me is there's a few times, I'm not going to lie, that the song, It's My Birthday, I Can Cry If I Want To, that came up into my head and then I shut it out. There's no crying, Colleen. Be grateful that you're alive and you're healthy. Other than being sick, that happens. You're alive, you're healthy, and life is good. And now take this as a lesson. How can I move into my 35th year being healthier? In what ways am I not healthy for my body? You got to be careful what you wish for, because last week I was going on and on and on to a friend about how I was tired. I was overworked. I needed alone time. I needed not to take care of anyone. And boom, right? When you be careful what you wish for, when you ask for something for the universe, and then all of a sudden it gives it to you. Not in the way I thought, but I've just spent the last 4 days all alone, just like I asked for, with no one to answer, no one to take care of, and nothing to do. Only I was sick. So be careful what you ask for. And I surrendered. I accepted. I didn't sit there and get all cryy or whammy that this was happening. I just sat and I said, okay, it is what it is. Try to switch your thought to something more kind to yourself, something more positive. And I did not let myself get whompy. I surrendered. I surrendered and had radical acceptance that this is what it is. It's not what I would have planned for my birthday week, but it is what it is. And so when we reach hard times, when life takes us by surprise and doesn't show up the way that we had planned it or the way that we had thought our perfect little week was going to be, we surrender and we accept and we let things unfold. It may not change anything, but it brings freedom and peace, I promise you, to your mind, body, and soul. It gets rid of that stress hormone, okay, from coming up, because that's what triggers when you're like, oh man, I can't believe I can't do that, or this isn't happening, or blah, blah, blah. That's creating a stress hormone that's just going to add to sickness in general. So I surrendered, and there's so much beauty and power in surrendering. And again, I just focused on being grateful for being overall healthy, having an amazing year. 34, my year of 34 was so incredible, and I'm so blessed for that. And that is really amazing. And that is what I focused on with that. Something though that was annoying, and some of you might know, is I woke up Monday morning, well into sickness. I didn't check my phone, and all of a sudden I had all these messages that I have fake profiles out there. Literally on TikTok, someone confirmed that there's 2 of them out there, Cosmic Colleens, and they have all my videos, of course, and they're DMing people about doing readings, but also there's one particular one on Instagram. I think there's a few of them on Instagram, but one with a double I. and Instagram will not take it down. Everyone has reported it, and they said they're not taking it down, and they're continuing to DM people. One of my followers gave them money. I woke up, that was the first message I woke up to, was them, a screenshot of them having PayPal'd someone $35 for a reading. And I was like, well, I don't know who that is, and that's not my email address. And then I was like, that's weird. And I start reading these other messages. Hey, someone screenshot, I think you have a fake person out there. Hey, someone DM'd me. And I was like, oh my God. I said to the person, I'm sorry, but that's not me. And I didn't do that. So just beware, guys, just beware. I only have Cosmic Colleen just the way it is spelled. I'm guessing I'm going to have to pay to get one of those check marks now to make it even more official. So be vigilant. If there is any other Cosmic Colleens, it is not me. If someone DMs you for a reading, that is not me. I do not DM people. And honestly, any reputable reader, tarot reader, astrologer, they will not DM you. So if you get DM that says, hey, whatever this message said, beloved, love and light, I feel called to do a reading. If they say that to you, that is a scam. You are getting scammed. It's not just me that it's happening to. It's happening to pretty much any astrologers on Instagram, TikTok, tarot readers, any people that promote any sort of reading, they do that too. So just be very vigilant. And what they do is they'll take your name and they'll make it one slight difference. You know, they'll add an extra C or add an extra I, something that to the eye you might be like, oh, that's interesting, but it might still be them. But when you go into the profile, everything will have been posted within 20 hours, 1 day, 4 days tops. Like they will just do it and do it really fast, and everything will be posted. And that's when you know it's a scammer. So if you come across those, please please report them and then block them. Again, be vigilant. It's on my TikTok. It's on my Instagram. So that was another way that I thought was interesting with my sun, my natal sun plus transit sun squaring Mars is all of a sudden, and you know, Saturn there is all of a sudden I had all of these fake profiles and people were falling for it. I don't know how many more are out there, but this is going to be a way of the future. So be vigilant for anyone. If your readers block, report, stop, and just know that that is not me. I would never in my life DM you for a reading, ever, ever, ever. So I'm sorry for those of you who fell for it. I'm sorry for those of you who are getting annoyed about it, because I'm sure it's really annoying getting these fake profiles of me on there and getting messaged. And I'm really, I apologize for whatever this other fake Cosmic Colleen is doing out there, but just be vigilant with it. I'm hoping after this transit passes, it cools down. This happened, if you guys remember, my long-term listeners, the last time I know I had some fake ones out there were about 2 years ago. And the same thing happened. Oh, these people have me blocked also, so I can't see it. The same thing happened. I think I got like 5 of them out there, and I stopped ever posting that I did readings. So if you notice on my Instagram, on my TikTok, I do not post anymore about doing readings. So I stopped that. It kept them off my trail until this transit happened, and then they all came back. So again, please report, block them, anything you can. That is not me. So if someone DMs you, if someone starts following you with a new page that looks like me, it is not me. That's my little spiel for my birthday week. That is what's happening. But again, I am trusting the process. When all of those fake things happen, all I did was laugh. I honestly was like, oh, whatever. You know what I mean? Another thing can happen, but nothing can tear me down because I am a strong fucking soldier. And that's the truth. When you're a soldier or warrior, a spirit warrior, you handle these things with grace and acceptance. And I think I share about this on my episode a lot. There is so much strength in just accepting literally whatever is unfolding in front of you, the radical acceptance. And whether it's a trained process, right? So again, like I said, anytime I wanted to feel woe is me about being sick on my birthday week and all my plans being canceled, I didn't let myself go there. I went to the good things in life again. I went to the gratitude in life again. All the happy, wonderful, rosy things that are good in my life, I went there every time I got there. Okay, so let's talk. Last week was interesting though with the feels. We had this like beautiful new poetic hope, but then with the Pluto squares with Mars and what was it? Mars went opposite. Yeah, Mars with the squares with Mars. It added this like a lot of my clients and a lot of people in my life were a little bit cranky last week, and a lot of people were dealing with uprooted pain, meaning all of a sudden they made sense as to who caused their pain. Do you know what I mean? And they needed to spiel it. Like sometimes we can't quite pinpoint who causes pain or who brings pain and suffering to our life, and we let it go. But it seems like last week it definitely brought up some of that some of that pain, throughout there. Aquarius, Pluto in Aquarius squared Jupiter and Taurus, and then Jupiter and Taurus squared Mars, and then Mars went opposite Pluto. So again, bringing out those old feelings of hurt, and people were feeling like, you know what, I just realized why I'm mad at this person, or I realized this is why I do this. And a lot of people had those sort of, and I did too a little bit to a degree. So last week was interesting. There was like full of hope, but then there was also this sort of, I hate to say blame because we can't really blame anyone for making us feel things, but things do happen to us that do cause us pain and the suffering, and people are really aware of their suffering. So let's talk a little bit more about Jupiter and Taurus. I know I talked a lot on last week's episode. Oh, also, guys, last week, I'm so sorry that I posted a December episode first. Sorry about that. Someone made me aware like 10 hours after, and I was like, oh my God. Because once I posted, I never go back and check. And I was it's asked me to replace some file when I uploaded. I'm like, oh yeah, I thought it meant it just had the same title or something. And so sorry about that. But we got the right episode up. So Jupiter and Taurus, right away, I didn't share about this, but this is something that came to me throughout the week. Diving into our family history. I know I naturally did, but I'm finding a lot of people did, going into our family history for some answers. And also some answers, but some guidance in our soul, some guidance, some belief that like there's something about looking into your ancestry and realizing what people conquered that gives you the hope and the ability to know that it's in your DNA and you can achieve those same things in this lifetime. It's like a pep up, My aunt came into the salon and she was telling me all the history about my family on my mom's side, which was really, really interesting. And it also kind of, helps you maybe sort out some of your childhood. It brings you comfort. It brings you joy, searching for wisdom with our ancestors. Again, Jupiter and Taurus. And then going into nature for answers. When Jupiter moves into Taurus, we really realize that we are one. We are the collective with nature. We really aren't as separate from nature as our ego likes to or has developed, I guess, because at one point we were naked living in nature and only relied on nature. And then so far the human ego has separated us from nature, and maybe we're going to dive in a little bit more into nature and realize all the answers we're looking for is there. I know that sounds kind of cliche and hippie, but spend some time in nature. If you're looking for an answer in your soul, if you're looking for an answer in your mind, over this next week, 2 weeks, go to nature. Go by yourself. Go on a hike. Go on a walk. Go to the beach and sit there and be silent with nature. Connect with nature. Watch with nature. And I guarantee you'll start to understand the answers that you're looking for, and you'll find them there. We're also going to be rebuilding our roots a little bit through understanding our roots. I think, again, when Jupiter moves into Taurus, we're going to want an understanding of our ancestry. We're going to want an understanding of our family history and why things played out the way they did, or why did we, our ancestry bloodline, the things that we're here to change, shift, and also become are also going to be held in our family bloodline roots. So we're going to be searching for answers and putting back pieces together from our history until now. That's just a little more info on Jupiter and Taurus. It's a long transit. I did a long episode last week about it. I'm going to be sharing about it all the time, I'm sure, because when Jupiter enters Taurus, it becomes all kinds of new exciting transits will be happening. And it will be happening in lots of big ways. Whew, okay, let's talk about Mars and Leo squaring the North Node in Taurus. I don't think this will be something you're going to feel more on a personal level. Where is your North Node? Where are the nodes in Taurus? Now, the North Node is where energy enters. The North Node is benefic by nature. It's a good point, right? It's the point where energy enters in. And so when it squares Mars and Leo, I would say one of the things that came to me is this energy can come in a little bit strong and a little bit too fast. Maybe we wanted to take on something new. Look, we're Tauruses, and instead we're doing it in a really big way, and maybe we can't handle all of that. Like, sometimes it's good that new energy is coming through, but how is it coming through? What is the vessel like? Sometimes we're taking in energy too strong, and having Mars in Leo means that things are coming in strong and they're coming in hot. So maybe we took in a lot of information and now we feel overwhelmed by it. I think that's going to be a big thing. Feeling overwhelmed by the information we just got from someone, feeling overwhelmed but by what we need to do in order to create some new idea that we want to create in our life. So feeling overwhelmed by the amount of information is going to be Mars and Leo squared. The North Node in Taurus. And then on Sunday, we got Sunday the 28th, we have the Sun squared Saturn. So we're slowing down again. Like this week, this is the Sun squared Saturn natally and transitly. And everything slowed the F down on my path. And I have not been sick around my birthday since I can't tell you. But like I said, I did have some drama, but everything stopped. And the plans that I thought I had did not come up. So there can be something like that where on Sunday in the beginning of the week, we have an idea about how life is going to show up. We have an idea about our plan, and then that is stopped suddenly. And we don't know which way to go, but all of a sudden there's a stall there. I also feel like we might have some feelings of getting impatient. The sun in Gemini gets very impatient. Gemini's fast moving, Mercury sign. It's always go, 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 and it's fast moving. And so Saturn in Pisces slows things down. So we might feel very impatient or annoyed that things aren't happening the way that we want them to be, or the way that we want them to happen. We want it faster. But, how do things play out when they're rushed? Think about that. When you want it faster, when you want it right now, as opposed to the universe's timing, how do they often play out? Versus accepting the universe's timing and just allowing things to be and having radical acceptance, right? So think about that when you're being impatient, when you're being rushed, let yourself feel the feelings. It could just come up as a feeling of, I'm overwhelmed. I'm so annoyed that, the things I want on my life path aren't moving as fast as I thought they would. Have that feeling, but then let that feeling go. And say to yourself, say to the universe, I trust, though, why this is stalling. I trust why things are slowing down. And I'm accepting the universe's plan on the slow down. So remember that. And there might be some of those feelings of being impatient, being annoyed that things aren't going the way you want them to, maybe even being impatient with other people in your life. And don't forget to take the moment this Sunday when you need to, when you're feeling annoyed and crotchety and kind of grumpy, to just walk away, say a little prayer, have a little moment of acceptance, and release all of that and get into nature. This is the best time to get into nature. Get out there and find the acceptance in nature. Whew, okay, that's all for this episode. Sorry if I didn't share too much about the transits. Like I said, I dropped the ball at the beginning of the week being sick and exhausted, and I feel still a little bit out of it, but that's what we got for these notes. Next week, I promise you, hopefully the universe doesn't slow me down again, but I think I got slowed down enough. Next week, we'll be back to normal programming, normal talks, normal transits. Again, thank you. You guys are honestly the best birthday gift everyone has gotten. Anyone that listens to my podcast ever, but even the ones who consistently listen, you guys are like giving me a birthday gift every time you listen to these episodes. I promise you that. Thank you, and I love you guys all, and I hope everyone has a magical Memorial Day weekend, and just accept whatever unfolds in front of you. Love you all, and goodbye.